say shalom, giving all praise to Yahawashi. Also give a double honors to the elders of GMS, honors to the Akim, and peace and blessing. The brothers and sisters that listen, a home full of lech. Who we out here for? The Israelites. Today is nasty as hell, nasty day, but still come out here and do what we could do, man. The kingdom is close, man. All right. You see those UFO sightings they saw in Arizona and California, and the government tried to cover it up with some SpaceX program, man. That's foolishness, man. We all know what that represents. Every time you got these UFO sightings, the government always try to patch things up with some military drill. Nah, man. Anybody with two eyes in their head could know what that is, man. Okay? And more of these things gonna keep happening, more and more and more as we go into 2018. You know, that folly-ass holiday Christmas is on Monday, which I did the sit-down on that. It's not got nothing to do with the Bible. That got nothing to do with the Messiah. It's all paganism, Babylonian paganism, man. Alright? Which I probably started out with that scripture. Ready to sit down on it, but I'll go through some precepts and I'll move on. Alright? So we got to keep pushing, man. Even when you don't want to, you have to keep pushing, man. You have to push yourself, man. And pray to Yahawashi constantly. One second. Let me get some scriptures. I don't got time for that nonsense. Let me 1 Corinthians chapter 6, verse 6. Yeah, that's how I went. Bible don't even got that page, man. Gotta read it on my phone. Gotta get a new sword, man. 1 Corinthians chapter 6, verse 6. Verse 9. Know we not that the unrighteous shall not inherit the kingdom of the Most High? Be not deceived, neither fornicators. Celebrating Christmas, you're a fornicator, man. Okay? So that's going into what? Spiritual adultery. Serving other gods, man. Whoring after other gods, man. Well, I'm talking to you Negroes, Hispanics, and you Native Americans. Because you're the biggest consumers, man. You're the ones that go broke doing that Christmas shopping foolishness, man. Alright? Consumerism, man. That's a tactic of capitalism, man. For you to spend your hard-earned money on pagan holidays, man. Which we do have high holy days, which Hanukkah will be one of them, which we already kept. You see what I'm saying? But those are the things you're supposed to be following. Anyway, let me read verse 9. Know we not that the unrighteous shall not inherit the kingdom of the Most High, which is right around the corner. Okay? As soon as America go up in flames, that's the beginning of the kingdom of heaven. Be not deceived, neither fornicators, nor idolaters. Idolatry. Okay? Idols, man. That Christmas tree is an idol, man. These so-called celebrities are idols, man. All these holidays are tied to pagan gods and deities. Alright? If I was to do a Q&A and ask people where that tradition goes back to Christmas, they couldn't tell me nothing, man. Alright? That's what the scriptures, like we always say, gross darkness has covered the earth, as well as the people. Alright? But we're the children of light. We're not of darkness. The Most High pulled us out of the world, man. We fled the shadow of this world, man. We know the state of this current world and what's going to happen. What's going to take place in Babylon. Okay? The fiery trials that we all gonna have to go through. A martial law is one of them. The chip is one of them. Famine is one of them. The economy collapsing is one of them. Race riots is one of them. World War III is one of them. Now people getting caught up on Christmas shopping, man, and New Year's Day, which is gonna be a terrible year, man. Each year is getting worse. As Trump went in office, things has escalated, man. He declared Jerusalem the capital. Now NATO don't even want to deal with that dude, man, because that's all the signs of the times. The scripture says the beast shall hate the whore. You read on. Nor idolaters, nor adulterers, nor effeminate, which is a man that take on the characteristics of a woman, all right? Which America's full of that. Nor abusers of themselves, of mankind, homosexuals, all right? Nor thieves, nor covetous, nor drunkards, nor revilers, nor extortioners shall inherit the kingdom of the Most High. And the thing I wanted to highlight is idolatry, okay? Okay, idolatry, man. Idols, man. The reverencing of the gods, man. And that's the main reason why Israel got jacked up to begin with. It's the reason why we came in slavery to begin with, man. Because that's breaking the first commandment. Which these churches not going to teach you that. Talking about the Lord was born December 25th. I ain't nowhere in the Bible, man. The Lord wasn't born in the dead of winter. Now do we celebrate New Year's in the dead of winter? We celebrated what? During the time of the Passover. Springtime. New life, new beginning. So more likely probably was born around that time, and he died around that time. And Mary and Joseph couldn't get a room. And that's why they had to have it in a manger. Because all males had to come up to Jerusalem during that time period. When you read the law, Deuteronomy 16, verse 16. Okay? So those are clues, man. So we know it couldn't be no winter time. You read the next precept. So our people are heavy into idolatry. Ezekiel chapter 8, verse 11. Let me read Jeremiah 10. Then I'm going to read Ezekiel 8. I'm not going to spend too long on this. I'm ready to sit down on this. So if you want to keep deceiving yourself and celebrating these things, go right ahead, man. The blood is off our hand as watchmen of Yahawashi. Jeremiah 10. Today's nasty, boy. Pray the Most High, man. I see dudes falling out, forsaking their first love, scared to look like a fool for the Lord, man. You're not going to make it, man. All right? This is a small thing, man. Jeremiah 10 and 1. Hear ye the word of the Lord, which the Lord speaketh unto you, O house of Israel. Thus saith Yahawashi, learn not the way of the heathen. Let me read that again. Thus saith the Lord, Yahawashi, learn not the way of the heathen. So the Most High said, don't learn the way of the heathen. But read, and be not dismayed at the signs of heaven, for the heathen are dismayed at them. For the customs of the people are vain. For one cutteth a tree out of the forest. That's your Christmas tree. Right? Goes back to ancient Babylon. But your pastor ain't gonna bring this out, man. Because that's half his congregation, or even 3/4 right there. Alright? That's what the Most High jack y'all up, man. You Israelites, man. That's what them hurricanes jack y'all up, man. That's what Puerto Rico got jacked up, man. Because they heavy into idolatry, man. Read the book of Hosea. That's what the Most High face was against Ephraim. Okay? Read on. It says, the work of man's hands, workmen with the axe. They deck it with silver and with gold. They fasten it with nails and with hammers that it move mine. So what they used to cut down a tree, deck it with silver and gold, and put gifts underneath the tree for Talmud. That's a Christmas tree. But the main point of that scripture, verse 2, thus saith the Lord, Yahawashi Yahshua, learn not the way of the heathen, man. And that's how people became Gentiles or foreigners and strangers. That's what you other Christians don't understand. The Gentiles that received salvation in the New Testament were Israelite foreigners, man. Yeah, we're seeing them today. The ones of our people that still follow Christmas and the ways of America, Babylon, and the ways of the heathen, they're Gentiles, man. Alright? Read on. Read another precept. Ezekiel chapter 8, verse 11. So I'll probably go into that as well, because this truth is growing, man. This truth is growing, man. It may not look like it, but the Most High is making major moves behind the scenes. Okay? It's starting to affect the Christian world. That's why they're coming up to the campus. That's why they're making all these scoffing videos. Okay? Because the white man never thought, starting with the elites on down, that you Negroes, Hispanics, and Native Americans return to your true identity. That wasn't a part of their New World Order plan, man. See, because you guys don't run the show. Okay? You're just puppets, man. You're dancing to the Heavenly Father's tune. That's all we all are, man. That's the reason why brothers come out in crazy weather. Because the Most High got us set up that way, man. He got good set against evil. Ezekiel chapter 8, verse 11. It says, and they stood before the 70 men of the ancient. I brought this out in the sit down, but I got to bring this out again. Oh, now I got to read the verse 1. Ezekiel chapter 8, verse 1. And it came to pass in the 6th year, in the 6th month, in the 5th day of the month, I sat in mine house, and the elders of Judah sat before me, that the hand of the Lord God fell there upon me. Then I beheld a likeness of appearance of fire, from the appearance of his loins even downward, fire, that's the angel. And from his loins, his waist even upward, as the appearance of the brightness, as the color of amber. But you know, that's brown. So the angels are dark skinned, man. But they had that glow to them. What's the point though? It says, and he put forth the form of a head, and took me by the lock of mine head, and the Spirit lifted me up between the earth and the heavens. So he had an out-of-body experience. The angel pulled his spirit out of his body, just showing what our people was doing in Jerusalem. Okay? Because Ezekiel was what? Outside the city, man. Okay? When you read the book of Ezekiel, man. Where am I? Between the earth and the heaven, and brought me into the visions of the Most High to Jerusalem. Yeah, so Ezekiel was one of the Babylonian captives that was outside of Jerusalem. Okay? So the angel came and pulled his spirit out of his body and showed him an out-of-body experience. It's all going to tie into what I want to bring out. To the door of the corner gate that looketh toward the north, where the seal of the image of jealousy, which provoketh the jealousy. And behold, the glory of the Most High of Israel was there, according to the vision that I saw in the plain. Then he said unto me, Son of man, lift up thy eyes now the way toward the north. So I lifted up my eyes the way toward the north, and behold, the northward at the gate of the altar, the image of jealousy in the entry. He said furthermore unto me, Son of man, seest what they do, even a great abomination that the house of Israel committed here, that I should go far from the sanctuary? But turn thee yet again, and thou shalt see greater abominations. Hold on a second, this is flicking. So he said, what great abominations? And he brought me into the door of the court, and when I looked, behold, a hole in the wall. So the Most High is about to show Israel, the prophet Ezekiel, all the abominable things you Israelites are doing, man. You see? Let me read it again. Same thing cut. Good thing I caught it. Alright, read it again. show you Israel going into idolatry as always, man. Verse. And he brought me into the door of the court, and when I looked, behold, a hole in the wall. Then he said unto me, Son of man, dig now in the wall. And when I had digged in the wall, behold, a door. And he said unto me, Go in, and behold, the wicked abomination they do here. So I went in and saw, behold, every form of creeping thing and abominable beasts, which you Negroes, Hispanics, and Native Americans eat freely today, which would be pig, the abomination of the mouse, all these unclean foods, man, shrimp, crab, lobster. Okay, read Leviticus, the 11th, and Deuteronomy, the 14th chapter, man. Okay, they're about to murder that pig on Christmas Day, man. All right, but it says, and this is what they were doing secretly in Jerusalem. And abominable beasts and all the idols of the house of Israel portrayed upon the wall round about. And they stood before them 70 men of the ancients of the house of Israel. And in the midst of them stood Jazaniah, the son of Shaphan, with every man his cense in his hand, and a thick cloud of incense went up. Then he said unto me, Son of man, hast thou seen what the ancients of Israel do in the dark, every man in the chambers of his imagery? For they say, the Lord seeth not, the Lord hath forsaken the earth. And what were they doing? They were worshiping Tammuz, which that's the God of your Christmas, man. That's what your Christmas and your Easter go back to, man. So Ramesses and Tammuz. The Romans made their own version of it, Saturnalia. And then you have wicked ass Constantine the Great, which he was an Israelite, a so-called Negro, and he integrated all that into Christianity. All right. Then you had the Scandinavians created Santa Claus. It was banned for a while, and now it came back in America because America's that Babylon. All those pagan ways of the heathen, those ancient pagan customs, is all conglomerated here, man. This is that most wicked place. Okay, this place catches the souls of men, and all nations come here. This is the second leg of the Roman Empire. And you Israelites, just like you were Hellenized in the past, you're doing the same nonsense again, man. Okay? The scripture says no people that's into idolatry shall not inherit the kingdom of the Most High. Okay? Talks about having other gods before me and not making graven images. That Christmas tree is an idol, man. So our people, man, a lot of you gonna get jacked up in these last days because you're willingly ignorant. This is why Stephen cursed out our people in Acts the 7th chapter. Acts chapter 7 verse 55. Get into idolatry, man. Then I'm gonna get into who the Lord came for. We're going to Bible 101, Israelite 101. Acts chapter 7, verse very long chapter. This is Stephen going into the whole history. Alright? And they charged him with blasphemy. Let me read on. Acts 7. Acts chapter 7, verse Let me start verse 20. And at which time Moses was born, this is Stephen going into the whole history, cursing out the high priests, man, and the Pharisees, man, and our people that were being rebellious at that time. It says, in which Moses was born and was exceedingly fair and nourished in his father's house 3 months. And when he was cast off, Pharaoh's daughter took him up and flourished him for her own son. We know the story of Moses. I'm going to jump. All right. And when 40 years were expired, verse 30, there appeared to him in the wilderness of Mount Sinai an angel of the Lord in the flame of fire in a bush, which was Yahawashi. When Moses saw it, he wondered at the sight. As he drew near to behold it, the voice of the Lord came unto him, saying, I am the God of thy fathers, the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. And the God, then Moses trembled and durst behold. Then said the Lord to him, put off thy shoes from off thy feet, for the place where thou standest is holy ground. I've seen the affliction of my people, which is in Egypt, and I've heard their groaning, and come down to deliver them. And now I come and will send thee into Egypt. So Moses was the first Messiah sent to deliver the children of Israel. Only the children of Israel, okay? This Moses whom they refused, saying, who made thee a ruler and a judge? The same did God send to be a ruler and a deliverer by the hand of the angel which appeared to him in the bush. So our people were stiff-necked back then. Alright? And he brought them out. After that he showed them wonders and signs in the land of Egypt and in the Red Sea and the wilderness 40 years. This that Moses would said unto the children of Israel, a prophet shall the Lord your God raise unto you and your brethren like unto me, him shall he hear. And that's what you guys, Christian EJ and Vocab Malone and you other idiots don't understand. Okay? The Most High was going to raise up a prophet of the 12 tribes, man. And we're supposed to listen to him. And that prophet was Yahawashi, who's the head of the house of Jacob, man. And we're building his house. This is his tabernacle. Okay? And that tabernacle will not fall, man. This is spiritual, man. Alright? It's a point I want to bring out, though. To whom our fathers, verse 39, would not obey, but thrust him from them, and in their hearts turned back again into Egypt, saying unto Aaron, make us gods to go before us. For as for this Moses, which brought us out of the land of Egypt, we will not what is become of him. And they made a calf in those days, and offered sacrifice unto the idol, and rejoiced in the works of their own hand, man. There you go. So Israel always was into idolatry, and we see it today. And it's mainly these women, these wicked ass women, that's into that damn Christmas, man. Alright? Because women and folly go hand in hand, man. Okay, all into the decorations, all that stupidity, man. That's what Most High got a death sentence for y'all. Okay, this is no laughing matter, man. Okay, the scripture say he's gonna laugh at your calamity, you and your children. We read on. It says, then the Most High turned and gave them up to worship the host of heaven, as is written in the book of the prophets. O we house of Israel, he has offered to me slain beasts and sacrifices by the space of 40 years in the wilderness. He took up the tabernacle of Molech and the star of their god Rfid, figures which he made to worship them, and I will carry you away beyond Babylon. There you go. We got carried away into what? Ancient Babylon, and we got carried away into what? Modern day Babylon. Why? Because serving other gods, following their idols. Okay? And that all ties into Christmas today. That's the reason why I brought them precepts out, man. Israel all. See, that's why dudes don't want to come out, man. When you start coming out in that cold, everything start malfunctioning. Camera starts switching off. It start getting real cold out here, man. And on top of that, the weather's very nasty and windy. You see? But if you want salvation, don't you go to work for Esau in the rain? Yeah. Okay, or the snow, or whatever the case is. People still doing their Christmas shopping out here, man. So how much more us, man? Alright? You gotta keep pushing, man. To hell with people's looks. We don't give a shit about that. Like the Apostle Paul said, do we seek to please men? Absolutely not. But the scripture says the Most High was going to save some by the foolishness of preaching. Okay? So this is a foolish act, but it's going to lead to salvation. Let me read what a righteous king did concerning these idols and move on to the next precept. 1 Kings chapter 15, verse 1. Now the 18th year of the king Jeroboam, the son of Nebat, reigned Abijam over Judah. 3 years reigning in Jerusalem, and his mother's name was Maacah, the daughter of Abishurah. And he walked in all the sins of his father, which he had done before him, and his heart was not perfect with Yahawashi his power, and the heart of David his father. Nevertheless, for David's sake did Yahawashi his God give him a lamp in Jerusalem to set up his son after him and to establish Jerusalem. Because David did that which was right in the eyes of Yahawashi the Lord, and turned not aside from anything he commanded him all the days of his life, save only in a matter of Uriah the Hittite. Let me read on down. At verse 8, and Abijam slept with his fathers, and they buried him in the city of David. And Asa his son reigned in his stead. And in the 20th year of Jeroboam king of Israel reigned Asa over Judah. Over that time you had 2 kingdoms, the southern kingdom and the northern kingdom. Alright? Asa ruled what? The southern kingdom. Let me read on. And Jeroboam ruled the northern kingdom, you Hispanic tribes. Alright? And in the 20th year of Jeroboam king of Israel reigned Asa over Judah. And 41 years reigned he in Jerusalem. And his mother's name was Maacah, the daughter of Abishalom. And Asa did that which was right in the eyes of Yahawashi, as did David his father. And he took away the sodomites out of the land. So all our people that was doing wickedness, sodomy, homosexuality, got rid of their ass, man. Okay, and what's the judgment for that? Death. Okay? So that was pleasing in the eyes of the Lord. And what else did he do? The point I want to bring out of the land, and remove all the idols that his fathers had made. Okay? And that was pleasing in the eyes of the Heavenly Father, man. What Asa did. Got rid of the sodomites and destroyed the idols, man. Okay, so the whole point I was bringing out, this holiday season is all idolatry. It's all idolatry, man. That's what the Most High said he hates and he despises your feast days. He will not smell your solemn assemblies. So when you're setting up those prayers, that's abominable in the eyes of the Most High, man. Why? I'm going to read the precept. Proverbs chapter 28, verse 9. Proverbs 28, verse 9. It says, he that turneth away his ear from hearing the law, and I just read the law in idolatry, even his prayer shall be an abomination. So the Most High ain't hearing your prayer. You pray to your sweet Jesus. Okay? Put gifts underneath the tree or whatever. I'm read it again. Proverbs 28, verse 9. He that turneth away his ear from hearing the law, even his prayer is an abomination. Even your prayer is an abominable. Okay? And the Most High hateth all abominations, because you're not reverencing or serving him. Okay? There's only one true power, and his name is Yahawah. And his son's name is Yahawashi. And it only came for a certain group of people. The law was only given to a certain group of people. The other nations were given idols, man. They could do what they want. The Most High didn't set them up, man. He only set up the Israelites, man. He set out a people for himself. And he gave us the laws, statutes, and commandments to follow. The thing is, Israel is not following the laws, man. And I'll read one more precept. And I'm going to jump. Jeremiah, the 2nd chapter. Jeremiah chapter 2. Verse 26. As the thief is ashamed when he is found, so is the house of Israel ashamed. They, their kings, their princes, their priests, and their prophets, saying to a stock, Thou art my father, and to a stone, Thou hast brought me forth, for Thou turned away their back unto me, and not their face. But in the time of their troubles, which the time of Jacob's trouble is coming, Jeremiah the 30th chapter. Okay? That time is around the corner, man. What's Jacob's trouble? When you start getting thrown in them concentration camps. Alright? Where the things you love, you're going to lose it, man. Your net neutrality, which that's destroyed. Okay, the net is no longer equal, which we know that's what those evil policies, man. Those crafty policies, man, to just try to cast this, take this word out the internet. But when this devil think he has this word shut down, the Most High already sealed the elect. And it's really Yahawashi closing the curtains, because you Israelites, you Negroes, Hispanics, and Native Americans, you're not listening, man. You're not hearkening, man. The majority, okay? But this truth is spreading. Okay? The 1/3 is waking up. Alright? Let me read on. It says, As the thief is ashamed when he is found, so is the house of Israel ashamed. They, their kings, their princes, and their priests, and their prophets, saying to a stock, Thou art my father, and to a stone, Thou hast brought me forth. For they have turned their back unto me, and not their face. But in the time of their trouble, they will say, Arise and save us. And that's what they're going to say, man. Save me, O Yahawah, Most High. They're going to go through a laundry list of names, man. All you black conscious clowns, you people in the churches, man. Okay, that's going to be your Christmas, celebrate your Christmas or whatever the case is. Serving your white Jesus. Okay? The days of trouble is at hand, man. Pay attention to the signs, man. And the Most High purposely got his men out here blowing the trumpet. They that make mention of the Lord keep not silent. Okay, until Jerusalem is made a praise in the earth. We ain't taking no breaks, man. They ain't taking no breaks, man. It's our job to come out here and push this word, man. You got these people out here with their folly-ass Christmas, believing some white guy flying through the heavens. Why can't you come out here and push the word, man? Okay, because our God is real, man. That Santa Claus, that's a bunch of bullshit that they teach their children, man. Alright? Let me read on. It says, verse 26. But in the time of their trouble, they will say, Arise and save us. But where are the gods but where are thy gods that thou hast made thee? Let them arise. For if they can save thee in the time of thy trouble, for according to the number of thy cities are thy gods, O Judah, man. Okay? So the Most High saying in the time of your trouble, call upon Santa Claus, man. Or call upon your white Jesus. Or call upon that stone you call the Kaaba. Maybe he'll save you. Okay? Most High is what? Uses sarcasm, man. Those other gods, they'll save you in the time of trouble, man. And he's not, man. Read on. It says, wherefore will he plead with me? Ye all have transgressed against me, saith Yahawashi Yahawashi. Okay? So the Most High said, like I said, in the time of calamity, call upon your strange gods, man. Which is so much examples of Israel going into idolatry, man. Matter of fact, I read one more, since it's the spirit. It all goes into the Hellenization, how we became Gentiles. Read the book of 1 Maccabees. This is where Hanukkah comes into play. Which that's what you should be keeping anyway. The Lord observed Hanukkah, which is a feast of dedication. That's John 10:22. 1 Maccabees chapter 1. First Maccabees chapter 1. Look at this fuck nigga, man. Niggas a bunch of clowns, man. Grown man wearing some Santa Claus shit. Let me First Maccabees. Let me go see if I can find First Maccabees, the second chapter. Go to Matthias and his 5 sons. See what happens to a God who committed idolatry. First Maccabees chapter 2, and then I'm gonna jump to verse 23 after. In those days arose Matthias, the son of John, the son of Simeon, a priest of the son of Joab, from Jerusalem, and dwelt in Modin. Going to the history, man. This is where Hanukkah comes into play, when the Greeks hit the temple. Starting with Antiochus, the brother Seleucus IV, they conquered Jerusalem, and they set up all kind of abominable idols. Okay, took out the gold vessels. Okay, and gave a decree that all should become one people. Like this democracy foolishness today, man. That's that Babylonian juice. Forsake your ways and follow our customs. So Matthias and his 5 sons rose up, came back into Jerusalem, and they saw all the abominable things and how Jerusalem was desecrated. Okay? Let me read on. In those days arose Matthias, the son of John, the son of Simeon, a priest of the house of Joab from Jerusalem, and dwelt in Modin. And he had 5 sons, Jonan called Cadus, Simon called Thesai, Judas who was called Maccabees, Judas Maccabees, alright, who rose up and kicked the Greeks out the temple, restored the temple, the second dedication of the temple, which is also called Hanukkah, alright, a feast of dedication. Eleazar called Avaram, and Jonathan, whose surname was Appas. And when he saw the blasphemies that were committed in Judah and Jerusalem, he said, woe is me, wherefore I was born to see the misery of my people, and of the holy city to dwell there, when it was delivered into the hand of the enemy, which were the Greeks, the white man back then. Okay? And the sanctuary into the hands of strangers. A temple has become as a man without glory, for glorious vessels are carried away into captivity. Infants are slain in the streets, young men with the sword of the enemy. And this is a powerful point he said too. What nation have not had a part in her kingdom and gotten her spoils? What nation? All these nations had a hand in our captivity and slavery. All. That's why it's going to be justified when the Lord comes back and give us the kingdom, man. Which is power and rulership in the earth, as well as the universe, man. That's what the disciples asked. Will now at this time restore again the kingdom to Israel? Okay? So all nations had their hand in our downfall. When you go into the history of the transatlantic slave trade, all of them benefited. Okay? Most of these banks, Chase Manhattan, Bank of America, the Jewish bankers that own it, when you trace how they got their wealth, it always goes back to the transatlantic slave trade. And one of the main resources was cotton. Okay? Slavery is big business, man. And you're still in slavery today, man. Through Esau, different laws and his different laws and his different tax codes, you a slave, man. And he binded you with debt. That's another way they have you in slavery, economical slavery. You want a house, it gives you a mortgage, a death note. People, they want fancy cars, it gives you a loan. You want to go to school, go to these expensive colleges, okay? They also give you a school loan, a student loan. That's debt, that's slavery, man. Because you end up dying before you can ever pay it off. Okay? And that's also another way how they trapped our people up. Go into the history, man. He sent Heliodorus, a tax collector. So it's all history, man. And that's what these guys, Christian E.J. Love and you other buffoons out there, I'm not going to use any curse words, so quote unquote, because those are not curse words. That's how people got Hellenized. That's what the scripture says there's no difference between Jew or Greek. The Greeks are what? The Hellenists, man. The Jews are spoke and follow the ways of the Greeks. Also known as the black Greeks in history. Okay, which our people today are nothing but black Greeks. Alright? Anyway, let's read on. Here's the point I want to bring out. Verse 19. Then Matthias answered and spake with a loud voice, to all nations that are under the king's dominion, obey him, and all fall away every one to the religion of their fathers, give consent to his commandment, and this is what we all got to do. Yet will I stand, and my sons and my brethren walk in the covenant of our fathers. And that's what we doing. We're walking in the covenant of our fathers, man. We woke up to who we are, man. The lies that they tell you in these institutions and these schools is what we woke up from them, man. We're walking in the covenant of our fathers, of our fathers, man. It says, of our fathers, the Most High forbid that we should forsake the law and the ordinance. We will not hearken to the king's words to go from our religion, which are the ways of our fathers, either on the right hand or the left. Now we had made, let's speak, and this is the point, these words, they came one of the Jews in the sight to sacrifice unto the altar which was at Modin according to the king's commandment. So while he was speaking, a fellow Israelite went up and was sacrificing to a pagan god, man. Idolatry, man. And what happened? Which thing when Matthias saw, he was inflamed with zeal, and his reins trembled. Neither could he forbear to show his anger according to judgment. Wherefore he ran and slew him upon the altar, put his ass to death. So like I said, I brought all these scriptures to show you the judgment for committing idolatry, man. Okay? You know? This lesson went another way today, but that's what I wanted to bring out, man. The judgment for committing idolatry is death. Straight up and down death, man. To show you different examples through different captivities, Israel was always going and following the ways of the heathen. One of the main sins that the Most High cast us away for was idolatry, man. Serving other gods, worshiping idols. And the children of Israel is doing the same thing today, man. And the scripture says you have done worse than your fathers, man. Alright? But there's always a remnant. It's going to turn to the second part of the lesson. That's waking up right now. In the white world, the world of Edom, they're frightened, they're afraid. Because they never thought, man. They never ever thought that we will make up the way we're waking up right now, man. And the only way that could have happened, the Most High had to put the spirit on certain men, starting with the elders, Abba Bivens, Ariyah, Mashah, and the other elders, all the way down to the apostles, to you other brothers, okay, that's out here on these streets, man. And we push it on the spiritual highway, also known as the internet. And now it's spreading, man. Wildfire, man. That's how the spirit moves. It's going to continue to keep growing and growing and growing. And Esau going to have no choice but to face us directly. And he's going to go like the devil always do. He's going to create a slander campaign to demonize the truth, man. But it don't matter anyway, because those all our trials, man. Yahawashi had to go through it. You English call Jesus Christ. He had to be what? Thrown in the fire. Persecuted, slandered, man. Hated. In order to receive glory with Yahawah. And we're no different. Okay? When he got that couple of more steps, man, 2018, man, I know it's going to be live out here, man. Esau got all his legislation in place to come up against this word, man. What we got to tell him, bring it on.